This is Sound Off 60, Southwest Louisiana's premier sports show.
Coaching staff was just like, you need to go through the same routine you were going through in the minor leagues. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Our skipper actually moved me up to the 2-hole in the order in the middle of that and said, hey, you're our guy, you're going to play, and we believe in you. And then got a few hits, started believing in myself.
Julio's coming back. Oh, forget it. The game's over. Forget it. The game's over. Oh, Julio.
Sound Off 60 is presented by Jack Daniel's Bar and Grill at LaBerge Casino Resort. Here are the guys, Rick, Scooter, and Kevin.
It is our New Year's show right here at Jack Daniel's at LaBerge Casino. Welcome. Happy holidays, everyone. Glad to have you aboard. And yes, it's official. Mr. Guidry on the far end is wearing the complete opposite of holiday garb. At least Hobbs and I are in sweaters.
Hey, I'm wearing, this is what one of my daughters gave me for Christmas.
Oh, is
now,
that it? Okay.
She would have been upset
Then
if
we
I would
forgive
not have
you
had
for
it
that.
on tonight. So
We forgive you. Puff Daddy. You're looking like Puff Daddy and Cool
you know, my
Hand
kids
Luke
always
or-
like for me to feel young and look young. So, hey, whatever they tell me to put on, I'm going to put it on, guys. You know that.
I know that. And
I
congratulations.
love my girls.
Congratulations for having the courage to wear it.
The only reason convinced me of it, you know, I love my tigers, right? So there's a tiger like crossing my back.
Okay.
That's coming to the front. It's the tiger.
All
And
right.
it's by the name brand that you may not know. There's a rapper that goes by the name Tiger who dates one of the
Okay.
Kardashians. So this is kind of like his line, his new line.
Kanye
of sportswear.
West? Is that a
No,
Kanye
what?
West?
No.
Oh, okay.
Another guy.
I'm not as
he
hip
dates,
as you.
He dates the other sister.
Okay.
That's for those young folks.
Well,
they can figure that out.
Let's get off the subject because we've got a lot to talk
Yes,
about
we
and a lot
do.
to plug. But I'm telling you now, that looks more like a jaguar than a tiger. But that's just me.
It's a tiger.
That's just me.
It's a tiger. It's a tiger.
Okay.
It's a tiger. It's a tiger.
Guidry
I
on the
promise
far end, Hobbs in the middle, Cerro here. A little bit later on in the show, we have a very special guest, former Barb star
Yes.
and formerly of LSU, and
Yes.
still with the SMU Mustangs as far as we know it
Yes.
as of this week. Trey
Glad to
Quinn
have
will
him,
join
too.
us later in the
you.
show
Hope we can get him on tonight.
to talk about the bowl game that just passed, the great year he had at SMU,
Yes.
and what is his future in college football,
Yes.
or will he declare for the NFL
Yes.
draft? Trey Quinn a little bit later on in the show. All right, guys, the Saints are in the playoffs. We got one more week to find out if they're going to be the NFC South divisional champs.
Yeah.
That's on the docket today. LSU Notre Dame, it's finally game week, is it
It
not?
is.
Next Monday.
Yeah.
Inside of
We're
a
inside
week.
of a week,
So
yes.
we've got that to talk about. And of course, the Final Four of college football.
Yeah.
The semifinals are upon us. We'll get our predictions and have a little fun with that. All right. Let's start off with totally in this segment to follow your lead, Mr. Guidry, LSU.
Yes.
First off, Notre Dame Citrus Bowl and this matchup. Notre Dame, when they lost to Miami, I don't know if they fell off the map, but they fell off the map when it came to the playoffs. This is still a formidable team.
They are.
Yeah. One loss, am I correct on that? Or is it two?
Two. I think it's two.
2 losses?
I think it's 2 losses.
Three losses. I lost
I
track
know
of the
Miami.
Irish.
Miami was a big one.
Georgia.
That's right,
Georgia,
Georgia.
yes.
Okay. Georgia
And
early.
They lost their last two.
There you go. Okay.
Yes.
Miami and Stanford.
Yeah.
Still a formidable team, though.
They are. But,
Yeah.
you know, when you look at it, LSU, when you look at around the country, I mean, I've watched so many bowl games. They've
What,
they've
you
run me
outdoing
crazy.
him?
No, I think I'm outdoing Scooter.
Oh, wow.
But when you look at the talent level of all the other teams around the country playing, and you look at LSU, how can LSU have not been more successful this year than the season they've had? I can't wrap my head around it to say
kinda know
what
where you're going.
what happened.
Troy, Mississippi State.
Oh, Rick, don't. I get
That's
that,
two
Rick.
right there.
But I'm saying to myself, could the difference have been in
Where is he
coaching,
going?
or could it have been in just sheer talent? Because
I'm with you, because basically what we've been watching for a week and a few days is the group of 5 against the group of 5.
You exactly,
Of course.
Scooter,
And
right.
I'm with you too. I'm saying either one of these teams get killed in the SEC. You know? But then I remember LSU did lose to Troy. We still haven't figured out how.
No.
But and I don't remember it jumping out at me. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't remember it jumping out at me as much in previous years as it has that there's a big difference.
It is.
Between the Power Five and the group.
Oh, well, yeah. You know, you
Yes.
follow the college game, you would
Yeah.
know. There's still a gap, though, guys, between LSU and the Final Four.
Rick,
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
sizable gap
I
in
can
spots.
agree.
In
there's
spots.
some holes.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes,
I
I
mean,
can agree.
Oklahoma, Georgia, Clemson, and Alabama. LSU would have a tough time weaseling into that Final Four, even if it was a Final Six, let's say, or 8 or whatever. I think they would have a problem this
And
year.
I'm not arguing your point, but I would also add, it wasn't like LSU got run off the field
No.
by
No.
Alabama.
No,
No, not at all.
LSU beat the team that beat Georgia.
There you go.
LSU beat the team that beat Clemson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's
So I-
Mississippi State and Troy State.
Yeah,
It
I
just-
understand what Scooter's saying, and it just gets to a point to where you say to yourself, what can be done different, or what needs to be done to see LSU next year in a much better situation.
Well,
than what
we're
they're
gonna
in now, because
transition to
I
that.
think LSU is much better than the Citrus Bowl. That's just me.
I don't know.
That's just me.
I don't.
Dude,
I like.
I think they're
that.
much better
Notre Dame
than the Citrus Bowl.
LSU Citrus Bowl New Year's Day. That's pretty doggone good,
is.
Kevin.
That is.
For a 3-loss team. That's
That
pretty
is.
strong.
That is.
All right. Does
I prefer the Outback. But I'm-
well, that's good. Yeah. All right. Is Notre Dame's strength feeding into LSU's defensive strength? The ability of the Irish to run the football? Isn't that going into the teeth of the tiger, so to speak?
I don't know if that's really the teeth
Of LSU or Notre Dame?
of LSU. Notre Dame's definitely a running team.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
And, I mean, they've got Josh Allen, I think his
Yeah.
name is, a stud running back.
Yeah. Was a Heisman contender
But they
early
also
on.
have their quarterback is their second leading rusher.
Yeah.
And scored 14 rushing touchdowns.
That's
So,
going to be a problem for the Tigers.
But I don't know if that is the strength of this year's LSU team as much as it has been in
Okay.
other years.
I'm enthralled with this linebacker. Okay.
Yeah.
Devin White. I'm just he reminds me
hometown
so.
boy.
Yeah.
He just reminds me of Beckwith and
But he will be a key.
oh
he will be
yeah,
a
he is.
That's no doubt.
He's a stud.
I think LSU, Rick, and all actually, the key to them is that I think we can outrun Notre Dame, honestly. And if we can get them on the ends, having to play chase with those receivers, I think the game can get away from them
Let me
quickly.
transition in regards to the early recruiting because LSU, how many 4 spots left? I mean, they went at it strong.
Yeah.
They did.
They went at it strong early.
It turns out most teams did.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, this is kind of turning into the de facto signing.
It
day.
is indeed,
Yeah.
isn't it?
You know, that other signing day is going to be the cherry pick.
Yeah.
It appears.
Right.
Yeah.
But getting back to what you're saying about the strength against strength with LSU Notre Dame, you know this, I forget the name, Pro Football something. Which They write more about colleges than they do about
Right.
pros. Great. They some award. They gave it to Notre Dame as having the best offensive line in the country this
Really?
year. And I know one of their tackles is supposed to be a top
Okay.
5 pick.
All right.
So I mean, you can't just automatically say, well, they run the ball, LSU will stop that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
If I had a concern, that would be it. Because
Okay.
there were some teams that
Yeah.
ran the ball a little bit. LSU wasn't quite as dominating, you know, up front this year. As
Well,
they have.
speaking
No, they
of
wasn't.
speaking of up front, do you like what LSU did with the offensive and the defensive lines? I mean, they went big and heavy
They
and
did.
big.
They did. Well, you know
Well-
what? The key thing is what we've talked about, guys, and we've said it this year. You know, can we give our guy time to throw the ball? That was the biggest factor we
Yeah.
had this year in the passing game.
Yeah.
Did he have enough time? Not that he couldn't complete them, but did he have enough time? So, is this what we're doing to make sure that doesn't happen again?
Yeah. Well, you got to build for the
yeah,
future.
I mean, he said him before this year started, or
Yeah.
Orgeron did, that that's where he was going recruiting this year.
Yeah.
Offensive and defensive
Yeah.
lines. And he damn well
They
did.
got
He
cut
got some-
shortchanged this year. They
Yeah.
were cut short.
I mean, I give Jeff Grimes, the outgoing offensive line coach, a lot of credit.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Because by the end of the year, they were okay.
Yeah. I'm
They
with
were
you on that.
okay on
with
that.
what they had, Scooter, I agree.
He was doing a little smoke and mirrors there
Yeah,
for a
he-
while.
there's
All
no doubt he
we'll
was.
talk
He
about
was so-
LSU
he was so-
signing this #1 receiver, 5-star out
Yeah.
of Parkway up in Bossier City. We'll get into that a little bit later on in the show. And can he play as a freshman? A 5-star, they might be counting on him as a freshman.
Are you serious?
All right, a little bit later on in the show, former Barb star Trey Quinn, still with the SMU Mustangs. We'll talk to him a little bit later on in the show. Coming up next, it's the Saints. They take care of the business with the Falcons. They got one more and possibly winning the NFC South. When we come back in about 2 minutes, right here at Jack Daniels. Stay right there.
Sound Off 60 is presented by Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at L'Auberge Casino Resort.
What makes the perfect holiday beer? More taste, only 96 calories, and maybe an ugly sweater. Happy holidays from Miller Lite.
The 2018 Toyota Camry is here, and it is a remarkable product. So remarkable, in fact, we're going to do something a little different with this commercial. We're just going to spend the rest of this 30 seconds showing you this car. So if you're one of those people that's always said, yeah, the Camry's not really the car for me, you might be exactly who this car is for. Come see it today at Lake Charles Toyota.
All right, we're back here at Jack Daniels. Don't forget, if you haven't made your New Year's Eve celebration plans this weekend, New Year's Eve, Sunday night, a little different.
It is a little different.
But that's where the calendar falls. Think about Jack Daniels and think about the party here at Jack Daniels to bring in 2018 right here at L'Auberge Casino. It's going to be, is it off the hook? Is that?
Off the chain. I mean,
off the hook, off the chain, off the roof.
Off the hook, off the
I need to stop trying to be hip and
Come on,
cool.
Rick, I
just need to end it right here.
I'm serious, man.
It's going to be a big party.
I gave up.
It will be. It will be.
Got to give that up.
I
All right, a
promise
little
it
bit
will be a
later
good
on
party,
in the
though.
show,
There's no
Trey
doubt
Quinn,
about that.
former Barb star, formerly of the
Yeah.
LSU Tigers, and with the SMU Mustangs, will join us a little bit later on in the show to talk about the season pass and
too
what
funny,
does his
man.
future hold. We got a lot to talk to about this young man. Had a great year,
Yeah.
NCAA stat leading year. All right, New Orleans Saints. Look, they almost beat Atlanta in Atlanta. They come back and took care of business with
They had to split, Rick. You know they had to split. They had to split. They had to
continue.
They had to
but
split.
doggone, I'll say this quickly. Every time we need Tampa Bay to win a game, they just can't seem to muster up a win.
They just messed up. They just
They
messed
came
it
close,
up, man.
Against Carolina over the weekend.
Yeah.
It took Cam Newton with a late touchdown
Did you see that game-winning touchdown?
Yeah.
Can you believe that, Scooter?
He dribbled it in.
You knew. But look how big he is. Just his extension put him in. Even the fumble and picking it up, he just extended himself and he
Come
was
on,
in.
Bucks, win a damn game.
I did think he double dribbled. They didn't call it. They didn't call
All
it.
right.
Can I just say something
Go
Rick,
ahead.
for the Saints? You know I give you guys a hard time.
I don't have
because
my
of
belt, so I
whatever.
can't shut
but
you
let
up.
me just say this. Defensively, is that not the best interception ever? Ever? Is that not the best interception ever?
It ranks
Dude,
up there.
Come on now.
That's headsy. That's a headsy
But the thing
play.
is, you know what gets me? If the guy picks it off of his butt, it's a live ball. It's a live ball.
Those kind of plays.
It's a live ball.
The mental acuity.
Yeah.
The awareness.
That is.
That is the difference of this defense. I
You
mean,
can't
you
see
add
that.
it all
That's
up,
not done every day,
and it
man,
adds
okay?
up to a defense that has the attention across the NFL.
There is no doubt, man.
Outside of that, gentlemen, the defensive stands within the 2-yard
It was
line.
good.
The Atlanta Falcons go
was good.
away
You know,
scoreless.
It
Scoreless.
was good.
Come
Well,
on.
the Saints did the same thing in Atlanta, so,
But twice in a must-win for the
Look.
Falcons, that's impressive,
That
gentlemen.
is, though, to be
That's
honest
impressive.
with you. And the thing about it, for some reason you looked at the Saints, with the breaks they're getting now, Rick, do you think that could go a little bit deeper into post-season with them?
Yeah.
You know sometimes you get breaks you really need just to
You're
kind of
right.
get you where
we
you
talked
need to
about
be.
it last week.
Well, I
The
mean, that
calls
was
are
the
going
big-
their way.
I mean, the one game the Saints didn't catch a break the entire game was at Atlanta.
Yes.
And so then they catch every break.
They catch every
in the
break,
rebound.
And the Falcons were just
You know.
mired with penalties.
They were.
I mean,
They
just
were.
every time you
They
turn
were.
around, they were making stupid
They were.
mistakes,
Does
and
that
that helped
sound
the cause.
familiar?
Yeah,
That
and
sound
and that
familiar?
helped the Saints' cause. But guys, breaks, sometimes you make them.
You have to have them.
You make them, okay?
Even the good teams get them, Rick. Okay,
Yeah.
Look at New England. Look at New England.
New England is built on good breaks.
That's right. And we'll get into New England and
Bad
So
call.
look,
little bit
look
later
at
on
that,
in the show.
man. You know, good teams get them too.
do the New Orleans Saints have the defensive rookie of the year and the offensive
Whoa.
rookie of the year?
I don't know. Wait, look.
I'm biased, but I'll give my vote if I
Look.
had it to both of them.
I don't know. I don't know who that.
I'd have to scour on the defense. Nobody can
Defense-
beat Alvin Kamara. Come on.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
kid has to win it.
Yeah.
The impact and the amount of touchdowns, he's
had a hell of a
second
year.
in the league
He had a
in
hell of a year,
touchdowns.
Rick. He did. I have to say
But
that. He had a hell of a
Marcus
year.
Lattimore,
I know.
Lattimore.
2 games shutting down Julio
know.
Jones.
Well, it didn't shut him down. but
Non-factor.
He,
He didn't-
he
he
did
didn't-
not
non-factor.
let
Yeah.
Julio
He
take
didn't let
over
Julio
the
catch.
game.
That's right. He
And
was
Get the
non-factor.
game out of reach for them.
That's a win. That's a win.
Huge.
I mean, forget rookie. I think he's one of the best corners
Oh, no
in
doubt.
the league.
No
Right.
I
doubt.
wouldn't say one of the best. Just
He's
say
in
he's
the
a
top-
good rookie.
he's
Just
in
say
the
he's a
top
good
10.
rookie, Scooter.
He's
I don't
in the top
know
10.
the best. No.
And if I
he's
remember,
got a little ways to go.
if I remember his history at Ohio State, 1 year. Started 1 year.
Yeah. He started 1 year. That's it.
1 year with the
Well, that's
Buckeyes.
one more year than Lattimore started at Tennessee.
Well, I
So,
mean, Kamara, you're talking about.
Kamara.
Does that get you thinking a little bit in regards to how you
Well, I know
scout
what you're saying,
guys?
Rick. Yeah, but
1
it's
year
like-
as a starter.
To be that talented, you know what I heard one of the guys say? I think it was Richard Sherman at the Seattle Seahawks. He said the best thing that makes a good defense, it's not to change the people that play it. It makes sense. It makes sense. If you
Yeah.
got good athletes, don't change them. Let them play. Let them play. And I think that's what they're letting this kid do. They're letting him play, Rick.
I said this early in their streak. They started reaching in and tipping balls away.
Yeah.
Didn't get the interception.
Nope.
But pass defended. It started, Kevin. Give me a sense of how critical
Look.
that 1 or 2 little tap downs are in a game.
Rick, well, let me tell you something, Rick. You got to credit that defensive line, too, for the Saints, too. Like you said.
Yeah.
Rick, those defensive backs don't play the way they do if you don't have people constantly giving to people that's throwing the ball
Right.
pressure.
Yes.
Well, I
And
mean-
you've got to credit them to a degree that they had a big factor in the way the Saints defensive
But
backs
some
are
of those,
playing.
but some of those athletic plays by those
Some of them were.
cornerbacks and
Oh, yeah.
safeties, just sheer athletic
Well,
plays.
I totally agree.
This Saints defensive turnaround, that's what should excite you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
From last
about
year,
the postseason challenge.
Scooter,
Along
yeah.
with Alvin Kamara, Mark
From
Ingram.
last year, that's no doubt that should be the reason why.
No,
There's no doubt.
But, I mean, they can win a game 17-14.
Yes, they can.
You know?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
they
all you
can.
have to do. You don't have to blow anybody out. We've already convinced ourselves that, Rick. It goes back to that old saying: if Drew Brees has got the ball last, we've got a chance
All
to
right,
win.
so let's.
I'm telling
That's
you
it.
what.
If he's got it
Go
last,
ahead.
Rick, we've got a chance,
I
man.
know I sound like a broken record,
Well, I'll say it again too, Scooter.
but Breeze made some of the best throws of his career Sunday. Those were
That old
some
boy can
tough
still throw it.
angles.
He can still throw it, Scooter.
He
He
has
can.
got to be the most pinpoint accurate quarterback
is.
in the history of the
He
league.
will go down for.
Do you guys
man.
see a guy
Completion
on the
percentage.
Saints receiving team emerging as the guy? Do you see it?
Well,
Because I see it.
you think it's Ted Ginn? I
think it is.
Well, he
think
gives
Ginn-
them that speed, but it's
look,
Michael Thomas.
look,
it's
Michael Thomas
Let me-
was playing about 3/4 speed
Yeah.
Sunday. You got to
But-
remember that.
but
and
Ginn-
made some plays.
Yeah, he did.
Ginn is a guy to me, Rick, that when you need it, he's the one that can give
Yeah.
it to you, Rick.
Let me tell you, I want to transition into something. Willie Snead,
Yeah.
last year, 60-something catches.
Didn't even hear of him.
Still, not a factor. You get Willie Snead all of a sudden in this offense?
Yeah.
All right, 30 seconds. You got Breeze on the NFC side, the #1 quarterback.
Yeah.
Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Case Keenum, Minnesota. Nick Foles, Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, hot young guy
Yeah.
in LA. All right. Cam Newton in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Breeze. All right. Ingram, Kamara, #1 in the entire NFL for 1-2 punch
Yeah.
in regards
Yeah.
to the offensive backfield. #1.
Yeah.
With this defense.
I mean,
With this defense,
I know,
guys,
I
think
know.
about it. We got a couple of weeks to talk about it.
Yeah, but Rick,
think
you know,
about what
a
this
lot-
team can do.
A lot can happen, man.
I know a lot,
A lot can happen, man.
But think of also Minnesota. They'll get home field.
They
all right?
will.
Dome. That plays into the Saints. All right, and of course the Saints should be playing one of their games
At least one.
at home.
At least
so
one.
Dome. I'm not buying into Philly yet. Without Carson Wentz, I'm just not buying into Philadelphia.
Yeah, but looking at Philly yesterday, Carson Wentz is the guy. Make no doubt about
They
it.
have talent.
But this guy,
they have.
let me tell you, he's got a good enough team around him
Great
to where he
defense.
don't have to be the superstar.
Great
Rick.
defense.
He doesn't have to be the superstar,
I'm just
man.
saying.
That's what
Breeze
scares me.
elevates.
That's what scares
Breeze
me.
elevates. We're up against the clock. We're back in 2 minutes. We're coming back to Jack Daniels.
Yes.
Stay right there.
Sound Off 60 is presented by Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at L'Auberge Casino Resort. Check us out online at soundoff60tv.com.
On or off the field, training and experience matter. As a board-certified and fellowship-trained surgeon, Dr. Brett Cassio has the training and experience to help you get back in the game. Award-winning research, the latest orthopedic techniques, right here at home. Cassio Sports Medicine.
Enjoy a more reliable, responsible, intelligent, and connected indoor environment that easily adjusts to your preferences, no matter where you are. Uncompromising, unmistakable. Luxair. Get connected with a Luxair dealer near you by visiting luxair.com/solar supply.
All right, welcome back to the show. Want to welcome in former Barb High School star, LSU, and current SMU star receiver, Trey Quinn. Happy holidays. Appreciate you coming in to Sound Off 60.
Happy holidays.
Glad
Thanks
to
for
have
having
you.
me.
Second time on the show?
Yes, sir.
I think it is.
Second time? I think right after Barb. You're an old man now.
I'm going
You're an
up.
old man.
I'm going
That
up.
seems
Yes,
like
sir.
a long time ago.
Yeah, he's grown up. All right, what a great year. NCAA leading year. At first year with SMU after sitting out a year. We'll get into your history and how far you have come. The word redemption comes to mind. Does it apply in your case? Was it a certain amount of redemption, maybe for college football observers and for Trey Quinn, for the kind of year you had with SMU?
I don't think I look at it as redemption because I'm not out to get anybody. I was just looking more to prove what I can do. And there was obviously struggles at my first school, and it was more just showing what I could do, knowing that I could do it, and really just backing up the people that supported me, because there's a lot of people out there talking for me, telling everybody what I can do, and I just wanted to prove that they're right, they're not wrong. So I wouldn't say redemption, but it was just more showing what I can do.
I'll ask you, because a lot of people have asked me. All right, you leave LSU to go to SMU, and right after that, LSU's offense kind of joined the 20th century, the 21st century. While you were sitting out with the change in regime and all. Did you kind of ever wonder, well, why couldn't they do that when I was there?
I guess I've thought about it. People have definitely brought it up to me, and I've watched a couple games. I'm still supporting LSU. I love my teammates that I had there, and it was nice to see them tossing the rock around a little bit more. But I was
Nothing
definitely
like SMU.
Yeah, nothing like SMU. And to say that, I was extremely happy and blessed to have the coaches I've had at SMU, because if anybody tuned into a game and I guess saw the stat book, I mean, we're slinging that thing around, and it was fun for me. It's kind of just transitioned from Barb because it's fairly similar offenses, so it was fun.
Looking at the offensive set that you're in now, Trey, at SMU versus LSU, what do you think the biggest, should I say, as a former defensive back, what do you think the biggest transition you had to make coming from the SEC to SMU, playing against a different style of defensive backs?
Right.
What adjustments did you have to make, Trey?
I think it was more the adjustment in my offense, because We didn't huddle. I didn't have any time to catch my breath, so I actually did drop a couple pounds just so I can keep up with the guys.
Yeah.
And you know, while I'm not in there blocking linebackers and having to shove around guys like Landon Collins. I had to drop weight and just kind of keep up with the speed because although the SEC does have its fair share of speed, it's one of the things just keeping up with the offense that I had to transition to.
Yeah. Okay.
Trey Quinn has joined us on Soundoff 60, fresh off of the one season and a great year with the SMU Mustangs. We'll talk about the bowl game in a little bit. The stats are just outstanding. We'll call it 107 receptions, close to 1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns with SMU. And that's with a legitimate first-round pick on the other side, and Cortland Sutton, I believe the young man's name, the other wide receiver, big target, 6'4" kid. Chad Morris, the coach, who recently left SMU to go to the University of Arkansas for that head coach's job. If I recall the history, he recruited you while at Clemson. So you had Clemson in the mix. You liked him, you liked the offense, you liked the offensive mind. You're talking about the offense of the Mustangs. Boy, that just suited you, and you followed it, did you not?
Right.
That had to be a huge factor in going from LSU to SMU.
And that's what we saw at Clemson when I was trying to decide between them and LSU. It was not only that, but Coach Morris has such a family background in his program, and I think that's where a lot of the success comes from, because he was able to flip that program in 2 years, and not many people can do that.
No.
Especially with somebody that comes off a death penalty like that. The way that he flipped that program in such a few years, it's awesome. So I put my trust in him, and he, totally believed in me, and I think that's what I needed. I had the ability to go to some Big 12 schools, some ACC schools, but I think it was best for me to go where Coach Morris was. Wherever he was, I think I was going to go, and it worked out for the best. My family loves him. He texts me probably every week now, just saying how much he's appreciative of me, and I'm appreciative of him. So it was a really good, really great year, and I look forward to Arkansas. I'm in Tiger territory, but the battle for the the boot's going to be something special.
Well, we won't get on Arkansas. We'll save that for the next segment. That question's coming up. Go ahead.
Forget the offenses and how much you throw the ball or whatever. If you had to, what was the difference in, say, the football culture between LSU and playing at LSU and playing at SMU? The whole culture of the program.
I think there's pros and cons to both. Being in the SEC, being at just a storied program like LSU, you have guys just going in, trying to get their 3 years and go to the NFL, and everybody has the capability to go to the NFL. You get to a place like SMU, and maybe there's one or two guys there that are really dedicated to it, but they're buying into the education, which I have no problem with, because that's what my parents wanted me to do. But with what you got with SMU, and I said it just now about Coach Morris, he really brought a family aspect into it. And I've never talked to a lot of defensive linemen or linebackers at LSU, but at SMU, I call myself on the other side of the locker room, just chatting up with whoever. It's really, I could call up anybody right now and be like, hey, I'm on the side of the road, can you come pick me up? And I think anybody would really show up. And that was a phenomenal thing about SMU, because I never wanted to leave the facility, even if I wasn't doing anything football. I was there just to hang out.
That's pretty profound the way you say it, though, Trey. But as being that you left LSU and went to SMU and had to set out that 1 year, what was the biggest thing mentally that you had to get yourself prepared for to come back and play the following year, Trey? Because that's a mental block, having to watch it for 1 year and know that you got to wait a whole entire year before you can step on that field. How did that affect you, Trey?
That was probably the toughest thing I've ever had to do. Because we all love football, and when you go from, I don't think I've ever had to sit out a year, and I would always start and get some kind of reps, and I go to immediately, I don't have anything to do. So I'd practice, and come Friday the team would go to the hotel.
You were on a scout team, I guess.
I would do, and I'll tear them up, man. Those were my games. I'd have 2-3 games a week to where it's scout team reps, and but it was terrible. I'd probably watched maybe a couple of the SMU games, because I was there in attendance, but I didn't watch any football. I didn't watch any NCAA football, because I looked at those guys. I was like, I'm better than these guys playing out here, and I'm the one sitting out. It just sucked. It was awful. And
tough.
but I was, there every day trying to catch, 100 balls just so I can prepare for 365 days later.
Exactly.
So I found a way to get better through it all. I was watching a lot of film on NFL guys, and I think even with the year off, I improved better than I ever have playing in the game. So.
Trey Quinn is with us here at Jack Daniels on Soundoff 60, fresh off the season with the SMU Mustangs. In the next segment, we'll talk about the bowl game. We'll talk about his options to stay in college and play for one more year because you're only a junior in eligibility, or is the NFL in your plans? In our closing 30 seconds of this segment, Trey, roughly, we'll call it 25 receptions at LSU, not even 300 yards. That's over 2 years now. Didn't redshirt, right?
Right.
No.
I mean, started right as a freshman and a sophomore. Slot receiver. I don't know, played in maybe 9 games as a freshman, 5 or 6 as a sophomore in the decision. I gotta ask, any animosity toward Les Miles and the offensive staff and LSU as a whole? Because 2 years out of a collegiate career is a long time.
I think that's a tough word to use right there because Coach Miles had done so much for me just getting me there, and he has a phenomenal family. I wish I would have had that production just to show him, but this past season, I hope he just saw the stats and saw what I could do. I really, in the back of my mind, I don't wish any harm on anybody,
of course.
whether it's him or Coach Cameron. I want them to see my production. I'm not going to stop until they do. Whether it takes 10 more years, I'm going to keep on playing, and I'm just going to show them what they missed out on.
Yeah.
All right. We'll pivot. We'll leave it there for a second. We'll take a short pause. We're coming back with more with Trey Quinn and talk about SMU, the bowl game. It wasn't fun, but we'll talk a little bit more about the future of Trey Quinn in college football or the NFL. When we come back in about 2 minutes, right here, Jack Daniels. Stay right there.
Soundoff 60 is brought to you by Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at LaBerge Casino Resort. The boys in the box will be right back.
What makes the perfect holiday beer? More taste, only 96 calories. And maybe an ugly sweater. Happy holidays from Miller Lite.
Enjoy a more reliable, responsible, intelligent, and connected indoor environment that easily adjusts to your preferences, no matter where you are. Uncompromising, unmistakable. Luxair. Get connected with a Luxair dealer near you by visiting luxair.com/solar supply.
Only one light beer has more taste, less calories, and half the carbs. This one. Miller Lite. Hold true.
All right, welcome back to the show. We're a second segment with former Barb High School star, LSU, and now SMU's. Well, that's a lot. You got a resume growing there. Trey Quinn has joined us. Had some great conversations so far talking about the Mustangs offense and the year that was. I mean, you led the NCAA with 9, we'll call it 9.5 receptions a game. All right? And then the bowl game. This quarterback that threw all those passes to you and Sutton on the other side, he had to be better than what.
You're being nice.
6 turnovers. Ben Hicks, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Boy, just nothing went right.
He had a little bit of a rough.
Nothing went. An offensive line. Let's spend at least 20 seconds on this. This was a debacle right from the beginning.
And it's tough. We didn't have any coaches. And I think you take it for granted, really. Our offensive line coach left, our quarterback and OC left, and we called ourselves the militia squad of receivers, and we were thankful and blessed to have the receiver coach that we did, and he actually showed his character and came back for the bowl game, even though, I mean, there was a lot of tough times going on for the 2 weeks because a lot of people didn't want him to coach upstairs at SMU, and but he fought for us because he wanted to spend that one last game with us, and it was really awesome to have that guy, but it didn't go the way we wanted to. Ben Hicks is a phenomenal quarterback, I think, and I mean, he showed that throughout the whole year. Just didn't work out. It's a
Didn't
bowl
work out.
game.
Tough game. Tough
is
game.
what
It
it
was.
is.
Good Louisiana Tech defense, though. That's pretty good defense.
It was.
They
Pretty
showed
good
up.
defense.
For sure.
I don't recall a coach ever stepping in and taking over a team like Sonny Dykes did. I mean, how much did he actually coach? I mean, was he just standing on the sideline? Did he know any of y'all's names? I mean,
I think you know a couple guys. I think it was
Come on
more
now.
numbers and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it's had a whole lot to do with the early signing period that was on
Yeah.
the 20th, and
Yeah.
that kind of just ruined that whole bowl process for us because coaches leaving, coaches coming in, and there's no trust in between the new coaches and whatnot. But he was on the sideline, did what he can. He came in, tried to learn the offense as best as possible. But we had our GJ Kinney. He back up for the Eagles for a while, went to the Giants, played for a little while. So he had an idea. It was just, I mean, that's his first game calling plays ever. And it was against Louisiana Tech that just, I mean, they probably played their best game the whole year.
Yeah.
So perfect storm for us. But yeah, Coach Dykes did what he could and made those decisions from the sideline. Just all you could ask for right there.
Trey, looking ahead with all that's happened right now, do you think that this is going to be the SMU of tomorrow, that is the SMU of yesterday, that you caught 9+ catches per game? How big a factor going into a totally new system is going to have on you at what you do?
I think what Coach Dykes, he pulled me aside and talked to me just to give me his pitch pretty much. And it was, we throw the ball around. If you look what we did at Cal, he was at Louisiana Tech, they threw the ball around, and he quoted it as an air raid offense, which, I mean, kind of self-explanatory for itself. I'm going to get the ball, and he's going to look for ways to give me the ball, and as well as the other receivers, because we have studs everywhere else around the field. It's not only me, and I couldn't thank the rest of the militia squad for doing what they do to, take attention away from me and Cortland. Although that's a really hard thing to do because if anybody was near Cortland Sutton, Kenneth Fonda, my old quarterback at Barb High School, came through and to a game. He's like, I mean, that dude's a specimen. The dude's unreal. Like if you were to picture Julio Jones in college right now, it's he has that kind of build.
He's a big kid.
Trey Quinn has joined us here on Soundoff 60, fresh off the year with the SMU Mustangs. And you talked about Sonny Dykes being the coach and his offensive acumen and what he brings to this offense. I remember when you set the record at Barb for high school record for receiving yards. I know on this show, we all kind of agreed, Trey Quinn has Sunday aspirations, a la Wes Welker is the kind of player that came to mind. Shifty, speed, strong, great hands, that kind of thing. Do you model your game after any particular player, or is it just Trey Quinn and you just happen to be very similar to those size slot receivers, if you will, that have had great success?
I don't think I compare myself to any slot receiver, to be honest with you. I've watched my tape on Edelman, but I'll go back and watch Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison because that's who I grew up watching. Because I was a huge Peyton Manning fan, and I watched all the games I could. But I take from them Cooper Kupp. I used to watch Sammy Watkins at Clemson and all that stuff, so I'm still watching him. And I'm a huge Jarvis Landry fan, as we all are in Louisiana. To model, and if I could reach those and just bundle them in and put Trey Quinn somewhere in there, I think it's probably lead to a couple more yards, couple more catches, and hopefully success on Sundays, to be honest with you.
well, Sonny Dykes, I'm assuming he's not going to change that offense much, right? Isn't his background pretty much throwing it around too?
So I think we were more 50-50 with Coach Morris. I want to say it's probably going to be more towards a 60-40 percentage of passing, taking the 60%. So I could break another record this next year, to be honest with you. So
go for it.
Yeah, I mean that's what the offseason is going to be about. So we'll see what happens though.
Yeah, Trey, I noticed, man, whenever we see you back here in town, man, you real close knit to your family, and I know your grandfather has just got to be just bubbling with just success for you and all the things that you've done, and your dad to make both of them so proud of you. How does that make you feel every time you put that uniform on and know that you've got people that have done what you've done and have brought you to this position in your life to feel good about what you do every time you step out on that field, Trey?
I'm extremely blessed to have the family that I do. You know, both my parents and both of my siblings, along with my grandparents, having the background that they do through football and just really having the support. We're all there for each other. And like you said, when I come home, I stay in my house because I don't want to leave my family because I know in 2 weeks I'm gonna go without seeing them for a while. But it's awesome, and don't let them fool you. They're probably the biggest critics for sure. Because I'll come off a 15 catch game, and I get in like, my dad's like, you should have caught that one over the middle. I'm like, you're right. You're probably right. But come on, we just won the game.
Come on, now,
of course,
really?
His grandfather is former McNeese head coach and UL Monroe head coach Bobby Keesler.
Bobby Keesler, yes.
Yeah, look, before our time runs out, you have a plethora of options, if you will, for a young man who you stated is going to graduate in May. You could go obviously back to SMU. If I understand the NCAA rules right, from a calendar standpoint, you can transfer and play anywhere
as a graduate
for a year.
As a graduate, yes.
Or you can opt for the NFL and declare for the April draft. Coming off the year that you had at SMU, gathering, you were a finalist for the Bolitnikoff Award, one of the top receivers in the country.
Yeah.
What does Trey Quinn do? What's the timeline? How are you going to weigh all these different options? Because they're good options.
Right. And I think I put myself in a really good situation. And it all starts with, trying to excel in the classroom. To be able to graduate this May, it's awesome, and especially from a place like SMU, it's hard to pass up on for sure. And I'm just so thankful for Coach Morris putting me in the situation to have the option of go and chase my dreams in the NFL. But SMU's been good to me. Coach Morris has been good to me, and eventually that's the goal, is to get a big boy job in the National Football League. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of thinking and talking going on with my parents, because they're a huge part in it too. It's I feel like I'm young. They know way more than I do, and to be if you take that NFL route, I'll be a man now. I'm on my own. I have a job.
Yeah.
Paying taxes on this
You're
stuff.
right.
It's one of those things that I haven't really thought about all those big boy decisions, or whatever we're gonna call it. But it's been a fun ride, and a lot of decisions to be made, and probably some kind of decision being announced soon. So we'll see. Stick around and see what happens, though.
Have you asked the NFL for a draft evaluation?
I haven't gotten it back yet. I think it's coming back in a couple of days.
But you have asked for it.
Yes, sir. I have. Yep.
Yeah. And the on the devil's advocate side, on that side of the fence, is Trey Quinn fans are going to say, can you match the kind of year you had? You could very well at SMU or someplace else, in particular SMU.
Right.
But the old cliche of strike while the iron is hot, that has to. How much of a factor is that in your mind right now?
I think I can go in and break a couple more records. I think I can break any record out there, to be honest with you. Any reception record, of course, but I don't think it's going on in my mind right now. I go out there trying to win ball games, and if the team relies on me to catch 16 to 20 balls, I'll do it in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? But if it's
nice
go out there
and passes come your way.
You saw it at LSU. I'm a winner. When it came, I didn't. Was it a Kentucky game my freshman year? I think we threw one ball to a receiver and won the game 56-0. And it's just one of those things. I want to win, but however it happens, I'm down for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One more before you go. We've got to take you back to LSU again. You lived through that bizarre Texas A&M game with
sure.
Les Miles, and went on. In fact, you had a big bowl game, as I remember, right after that.
Right.
All right, now you're gone the next year, redshirt, and 4 games into the year, what was your first reaction when you heard Les had gotten fired?
I didn't want to see it. I was shocked, to be honest with you. Like I said, they're such a great family. I know his sons real well, and it's tough to see that happen to a family. You know what I mean? Especially somebody that you grow up watching your whole life. I can't remember the last. I didn't really watch LSU when Saban was there, but when I started watching LSU, it was Coach Miles. That's all I knew. So to see him leave, it was tough. But I'm also close to the Orgeron family. Know his sons really well, and he was always good to me when I was at LSU. So. I'm happy to see what they're doing now, and don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of LSU. My family is as well. It just didn't work out, but I'm hoping the best for all of them.
Trey, I know that they're doing the same for you, man, and you from here, man. We all love you, man. You're one of our homeboys, and We just want to see nothing but success for you in whatever decisions you make in your young future, man. Just know that everybody's still pulling for you, man.
Thank you.
Because we see great things for you, man.
I'm trying to do it for Lake Charles.
All that warm and mushy.
Oh, look at him!
I want to see Mr.
Trey
Quinn.
is actually a former Tiger too, man.
I want to see Mr. Quinn in the NFL. We've been talking about it for 2 or 3 years with your abilities and the physique that you have. I'm reading between the lines. You know, SMU has been very good to me. Graduate from there. It's a top flight school. Is there any chance that you would transfer for 1 year? Would that benefit you to someplace else? Or maybe follow Morris to Arkansas and get back in the SEC? Or is it SMU or NFL?
Oh, he's definitely trying to push that and get back and beat LSU. I'm telling you that.
I'm sure he is.
He's mentioned it, but like I said, there's a lot of decisions to be made, and there's a lot of options out there. And I have a couple more nights to talk with my parents and make that decision. So, and that's what we're going to do. Trust me, we're talking 24/7 about this.
So you think you'll have some kind of announcement, and how will that announcement come? Will it come with you don't seem like a formalized press conference kind of guy. Would you send it out on Twitter or something like that?
Yeah, it'll probably end up on Twitter somewhere.
Yeah. And so you're looking at within 4 to 5 days of making a decision? This week sometime?
Probably this week coming up.
Really? Can you give Rick a date and a time, Trey?
Well,
because that's what he's asking for right now.
That's what we do on this show.
Big time.
Maybe next
Tell him
Tuesday
he'll see it when he sees it,
Trey.
Trey.
Exactly.
Golly, Ricky.
You're always welcome.
Young man,
You're always welcome here. We love having you on the show. It's been a long time,
Trey.
obviously. So you're more
awesome
than welcome to come back and talk about the decision.
No doubt, Trey.
Because you'll be in town.
No doubt, man. We would love to have you come back.
I'll
No
be
doubt.
in touch. Okay.
Absolutely.
And believe me, Scooter could always print in the paper too.
I'm glad you had a great year. I'm glad you came away healthy.
Yeah.
And you're with your family for the holidays. We really appreciate the time getting away from your family, because I know during college life you don't spend enough time with mom and dad and the siblings and grandfather Bobby and the grandmother. And so we really appreciate it. Yeah. I know it's a tough call. It's a tough decision. We wish you the best of luck.
No, thank you for
Whichever
having me.
direction you go, SMU Mustangs, wherever, or to the NFL. Anyway.
Yeah, Ricky, you
have a great
put that
rest
out
of the
there.
holiday and a great New Year, all right? We'll be in touch. We might try to get you on after the decision is made.
Sounds good to me.
All right, Trey Quinn from the SMU Mustangs. We'll take a short pause and come back with more NFL stuff and college basketball as well. When we come back, stay right there.
Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at LaBerge Casino Resort, home of Sound Off 60. Round 5 with the boys coming up.
The 2018 Toyota Camry is here, and it is a remarkable product. So remarkable, in fact, we're going to do something a little different with this commercial. We're just going to spend the rest of this 30 seconds showing you this car. So if you're one of those people that's always said, yeah, the Camry's not really the car for me, you might be exactly who this car is for. Come see it today at Lake Charles Toyota.
All right, welcome back to the show. Many thanks for Trey Quinn for joining us from the old Barb High School LSU days, and now with the SMU.
Yeah, I heard the Jordan twins were at his bowl game. Somebody told me. Yeah.
Okay. Not a great bowl game. Not a great
bowl.
But anyway, had a great year.
But I suspected, I guess, kind of what he said. I mean, how can a coach come in?
You didn't have a staff.
2 weeks?
I mean,
no, that's tough.
You didn't have a staff, man.
And losing your position coaches. Well, he had his receivers coach, but all those other guys, offensive line coach, the OC,
that make everything else work for him to be the best player he can.
That's a difficult situation
that's
for
tough,
any
man.
team to deal with. So if you missed any of the Trey Quinn interview, watch Sound Off 60 on the rebroadcast all week on Channel 4 at 9 o'clock and check that out, or on the website, soundoff60tv.com. And check it out. That's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think he's got to go NFL. I just think he's got to go NFL.
My take, I think he'll play another year.
Really? Okay, we'll see. As
I
the
think
decision's
he
coming in
should.
4 or 5 days, I think he's got to go NFL.
I think he
All right,
will.
speaking of the NFL, the New Orleans Saints, here it is, guys. They go to Tampa.
Yeah.
Sunday, afternoon game,
Last
late
game.
3:30 game. They beat the Bucs. Carolina can do whatever, and that's a big
That's
one,
always
too,
a
in
funny
Atlanta.
game, though, Rick.
Falcons,
it's
Panthers in Atlanta. Huge.
That's always a funny game, Rick. You know
like
that.
Tampa?
In Tampa, too? Based
I
on
mean,
what happened last week, too?
Look,
Oh,
this
my
is a team
goodness,
that's fighting,
man.
that's probably going to lose their head coach, but I give the
Yeah.
Saints, this is again, another must-win to, again, better seed yourself in the
It
I
is.
playoffs.
don't know that
That's
it's
no
a
doubt.
must-win. That's the whole.
They're in, but I'm saying
They're
to
in,
win
but
the
it
South,
gets-
that's huge.
Yeah, it gets them a home game.
Huge.
But it looks like either way they're going to play the Falcons or the Panthers,
Yeah.
who it seems like that's all they've been playing
I
for the
know,
last
they've been playing,
month.
Scooter. You're
Yeah,
right about
you're
that.
right. Yeah.
And that
Screwy.
scares me.
I
Both
don't
of
like
those
the way
teams
that
scare me.
schedule is backloaded.
I don't
Both
either.
of those
And,
teams
and
scare me.
speaking of which,
I don't
what I don't ever remember this before, where the Saints got flexed to the 3:30 game Sunday,
Yeah.
where all the games that have playoff implications, there's going to be 9 games at 3:30.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
what does it matter?
I know.
I haven't figured that
I know.
out yet.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. But
So-
I tell you what, though, the thing is, Rick, with the Saints right now, Rick, you at a point right now, man. It's that Tampa Bay is the game to where, and I know Scooter says, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen, Kevin. Try to get out this game injury-free.
Well,
Try your best.
Teron
Get out of this
Armstead,
game
a
injury-free,
quad muscle
Rick.
injury, didn't like to see it, didn't seem too serious. I mean, the left tackle.
Yeah.
But they have, again, worked magic
I
in
would
shifting those
within
guys in
reason.
and out.
You got, if the
You gotta play
Falcons
the
could
game.
get, yeah, you got to play.
You gotta play the
Just
game.
Go
Oh, no,
play
you
the
don't play the game. No,
You got to
no,
play
no,
the game.
no doubt
Yeah,
about
you
that.
got to
Don't
play the game.
overthink.
Speaking of playing games, we got some doozies coming up in college football. The Final Four.
Yes, we do.
Number 1 Clemson against number 4 Alabama. 2 Georgia against 3 Oklahoma.
But you know what, Rick, what people are saying?
These are all going to be barn burners. These
Is
are
it
going to be
really,
great games.
honestly, when you look at it, Clemson at number 1 and Georgia's number 4? I mean,
Georgia,
Alabama
Alabama's
is
4.
number 4. Is Alabama really number
No,
4?
you know,
is they
look,
really number 4?
no, it doesn't really make
I mean,
all
in
that
all
much
school,
difference.
when you think about it and look at it, is Bama really number 4?
Well, who you saying is?
You know what I'm saying when I say that. I'm being facetious, Scooter.
Oh, they should be 1, you're saying?
I'm just saying.
No,
I'm
they can't
just-
be
No,
one.
Clemson
didn't
is a
even
hell of
win their division.
Clemson is a hell of a team. Make no mistakes. But when you look at Bama,
Clemson is going to beat Alabama.
is Bama the best number 4 team you've ever
Well,
seen?
They're getting their linebackers back. They should be
They're
nearly
getting everybody
100% healthy.
They're
I
getting everybody
really-
back, okay?
And I think as we go farther and further and further into the the playoff system, I don't think seeding is that important.
I don't think it is either, Scooter.
No.
I don't. That's
the
what I'm
key
saying,
is
Scooter.
I think most
You're
years,
gonna play a great team.
Last year, maybe not.
Look,
because both
look,
semifinals
let me
were
just say
routes.
this.
But I think most years it's going to be like this. You just want to get one of those 4 spots and go
And
take
go
it.
for it.
There's
Just go
gonna
for
be
it.
some great
Look,
games.
Let me tell you why I'm favoring Bama so much, guys. Because they're the one team out of the 3 that's got the chip on their shoulder. Losing last year to Clemson on that last-minute catch in the end zone, when we both know it was a pick. We both know it was a pick. That pissed them off right there. Coming back, losing to Auburn, and it's just like, dude, y'all have just pissed me off. That's all I'm saying.
Clemson will beat Alabama,
Don't you count
and
Bama?
Oklahoma will beat Georgia. It's
No,
Clemson and Oklahoma.
will beat
for the next-
Alabama and Georgia will beat Oklahoma.
See, we differ.
Georgia will beat Oklahoma. Georgia will beat Oklahoma.
I think Oklahoma.
Clemson won't beat Alabama. Not two. Rick, it's hard to beat the same team twice. It's hard.
This is the rubber match.
Scooter, it's hard to beat the same
This
team
is
twice.
the rubber
Remember,
match.
I told you that now,
The
okay?
rubber match.
Well, they
As we
hadn't
go to
played.
The national championship game.
That was last year.
It doesn't matter.
That doesn't count.
Oh, it doesn't count. As we go to break, congratulations, by the way.
Different team.
Congratulations
Okay,
to Welsh
all
head
right.
football coach John Richardson,
Yes.
who was scheduled to be on the show this week, but an illness in the family, winning
Yeah.
the American
Yeah.
Press Southwest Louisiana Coach of the Year in
Well
high school
deserved.
football.
Well
John
deserved.
Richardson wins
Well
the
deserved.
2A state title
Well
for the Welsh
deserved.
Greyhound. We're coming back in 2. We can't forget about the lovely ladies and
Yes,
some
already.
guys. In about 2
Wow.
minutes, stay right here.
Sound Off 60 is brought to you by our friends at Jack Daniel's Bar and Grill at L'Auberge Casino Resort. Sound Off 60 24/7 online at soundoff60tv.com.
The 2018 Toyota Camry is here, and it is a remarkable product. So remarkable, in fact, we're going to do something a little different with this commercial. We're just going to spend the rest of this 30 seconds showing you this car. So if you're one of those people that's always said, yeah, the Camry's not really the car for me, you might be exactly who this car is for. Come see it today at Lake Charles Toyota.
For more taste, less calories, and half the carbs, there's only one light beer to grab. Miller Lite. Hold true.
On or off the field, training and experience matter. As a board-certified and fellowship-trained surgeon, Dr. Brett Cassio has the training and experience to help you get back in the game. Award-winning research, the latest orthopedic techniques, right here at home. Cassio Sports Medicine.
What makes the perfect holiday beer? More taste, only 96 calories, and maybe an ugly sweater. Happy holidays from Miller Lite.
All right, welcome back to Jack Daniels. Time to stump the wise guys, and the lovely Bailey has joined us, and she is a stumper. She's ready to get us on our New Year's Day show week.
It is.
Getting ready for 2018. We want to start the new year off with a win. All right, Bailey, you ready?
We do.
Yes, sir.
Kevin, do you need a hat? Do you need one of the hats to make you think?
No, I'm good.
All right, we'll leave the hats.
The hats are
got
good
Santa.
set.
I got St. Nick ready to go.
He's,
all right, here we go.
just there.
Yeah, we might need him for luck. Yeah. All right, let's put Santa up here. Yeah,
Normally we would
luck.
make him dance, though, okay?
No dancing Santa.
Yeah.
All right, Bailey, what do we got?
Here we go.
right.
First one.
In honor of the Southwest Louisiana Coach of the Year award, let's test your knowledge. Prior to John Richardson from Welsh winning his second straight award, who was the last coach to win 3 straight?
Kinder
3
coach.
straight.
Was it kinder coach?
3, no, she said 3.
3.
The kinder coach had won it the 2 previous years. I
Right.
think Shaver won it 3 straight years.
Really? You would know that, Scooter. I wouldn't.
Shaver and
I
Ball.
think
was
it's
going-
the kinder coach.
I was going with the kinder coach is what I was going with.
You said 3 straight.
3
Yep.
straight?
Not 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
3.
3.
What's the answer? Are we
I
right?
said the kinder
We're saying
coach.
kinder.
Yep, it's kinder coach.
Boom!
Usually, I think he wanted to.
Come on
I thought
now.
he just
Steve, am I
wanted
on it?
to. Okay.
Rub that Santa.
Yeah, baby. Hey,
Rub
that's the only
that-
one.
I
I'm done.
think Shaver
I'm done. That's the
probably
only one.
wanted
I'm
3
done now.
straight.
I contributed
doubt
now.
about
I'm done.
that. All right.
Here we go.
All right. Name that coach that has the most American Press Southwest Louisiana Coach of the Year honors.
Shaver.
Shaver.
That one I
There we
got.
go.
Yes.
I knew that name. Coach Shaver.
Coach
Does
Shaver.
it
There's
say
no
how
doubt.
many?
Coach Shaver.
Is it
Jimmy Shaver.
Jimmy
Shaver
Shaver.
Yes.
5, I think.
Coach
6.
Shaver.
6.
6 for
Coach
Jimmy.
Shaver. Good deal.
Who just recently coached that All-Star game.
Yes, he did.
Is he
Yes,
coming
he
out of
did.
retirement?
I don't know. I don't
If
know.
Jimmy
He
Shaver
did.
comes out of
He did.
retirement, Bobby Kiesler should come out of retirement. You heard that, Coach?
I believe it too.
Bobby's in
I
the
believe
background.
it.
All right.
No doubt.
All right, number 3. The late, great Max Calderera and
Okay.
Charles Bicknair won
Westlake.
Coach of the Year honors twice for which schools?
Westlake and Barb.
Barb and I guess we're both the big nairs at Barb.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
with Kevin.
I'm going with,
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Westlake and Barb.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was Westlake
He
and
coached
Barb.
against me. I know that. He coached against me.
Smokes. This is a record for you.
What?
You got 2 of them right.
Man, I'm fit.
This is a record. You need to have St. Nick with you every time.
Hey,
Well,
hey,
Big
it's the new year.
Nair coached everywhere.
It's the
He
new
did.
year. It's
He
the new
did.
year,
All right.
man.
Here we go.
All right.
All right,
Here we
last
go.
one.
Scooter's got this last one.
Bonus question. What former McNeese head coach won the top prep coaching award twice while at what school?
Oh, that's Coach
Matt
Matt.
Viator.
Matt, isn't
Matt
it?
Viator.
Matt,
At what
got
school?
that, baby. Got that.
Sulphur.
Sulphur, yeah.
Sulphur?
Yep, and what years?
Oh,
Oh, I don't know
late
that now.
90s. That's all I
I
can
don't
remember.
know that.
Yeah.
I didn't
Late
get the year.
But did
But-
he not go to the Dome coaching Vinton? Did he not? Matt Viator?
Jennings, was it Jennings?
Jennings.
Jennings.
And he
It was
didn't win
Jennings.
Coach of the Year while at Jennings? But he won.
He might have.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Huh, interesting. All right, Bailey. Thank you.
Bailey, you
Stay
did
there.
good. You
All right.
did really, really
I've already
good.
laid it out.
Stay right there. Stay right there. Don't go. Stay right there.
Too much
Stay right
Christmas
there. You
cheer.
did good.
All right, you heard it. I'm saying Clemson, Oklahoma. He says it's Georgia and Clemson.
Bama beats Clemson. Rick, you can't
And
beat
you're
the same
going
team
all
twice.
SEC? You're going Alabama and
Yes,
Georgia?
it will be Georgia and Alabama play for the national
You're
championship.
so biased toward
Whatever.
the SEC.
Whatever. That's the best conference ever done.
Well, you know, Clemson and Georgia, those schools are only 90 miles
Yeah.
apart.
That's it.
These are going to
Look.
blowouts last year. These will not be a blowout.
No,
this
I
would
agree
shock
with
me if these are going to
No,
be.
it won't be a
I
blowout.
agree.
It won't be a blowout. It
I'm
won't
thinking Oklahoma and Georgia is going to be some
It
great
won't be a
games. Keep
blowout.
him dancing.
There's no doubt.
Basketball, the McNeese Cowboys open up Southland Conference play. Big
This Thursday.
way to open it. Thursday at Burton Coliseum against Incarnate Word. They need a crowd out there.
Yes, they
It's
do.
a young team, and they got to get rolling, okay? They
Yes.
got to get
No
rolling.
doubt.
All right. Many thanks to Bailey.
Bailey, you did a
Excellent
great job today.
Excellent.
Great
Did
job.
not stump, but excellent job.
Great job.
Many thanks to Trey Quinn
Yeah.
of
Yes,
the SMU
for having
Mustangs for being with us on a holiday week. She wants to walk
She
away
wants to walk
again.
away back.
We all said big thanks, so I was like, that's my
Anyway, hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Have a safe and
Yes.
Happy New Year. We'll
Yes.
see you next Tuesday. You won't be here.
Yeah.
We'll still
You'll
be
be
in
at the game.
Orlando.
Still be covering the Citrus Bowl.
Yes, he
So
will.
we'll be doing our broadcast, our show production.
Yes, we will.
On Tuesday, January 2nd for
Yes.
the week of 2018.
New
we'll
year.
have Mr. Guidry. And might have
I
Bailey
will be
back,
here.
all right?
I will be here.
Happy
No
New
doubt.
Year, everybody. Be safe.
Sound Off 60 airs on Suddenlink Cable Channel 4 Monday through Sunday nights at 9 and again Saturday and Sunday mornings at 10. Sound Off 60 also airs throughout Southwest Louisiana on Vive Broadband Channel 6 at 9 p.m. Check your local listings. Post your questions and comments for the guys and access our website and our great advertising partners at soundoff60tv.com.